In a PyTest framework, when you're using custom markers, you get a bunch of warnings. Let me show you here, and I'll show you how to solve that. Here, I have a bunch of markers here for this test, and they're all custom markers, right? So let's say I want to run this by its ID, its test case ID. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to say pytest-m for markers. I'm going to give it the ID. I'm going to hit run. This is going to run, and we're going to get tons of warnings. And these warnings are not going to be just for the ID that I just used. It's for all the markers that you have. Let's say you have 100 tests. That's like mini, right? You usually have thousands. So each test is going to have its own ID. So it's going to be a warning for each one of those. One of the simplest way, not the most professional way, is to just ignore those warnings. So as you can see, there are tons of warnings here. PyTest unknown mark warning. So all you have to do is you can do the command line, but of course, always better to put in the config file. We have this pytest.ini, and you're going to add a filter for warnings that says ignore it. You're going to say, hey, ignore these types of warnings. Now, let me clear the screen and let me run it again. Once I run this, now those warnings are going to be gone. Even if you add new markers, you won't have any warnings. You can see the output is much cleaner. Now, this is not very professional because you do want to see warnings when there are new markers you added unintentionally, right? So that's not the most elegant way. So you want to implement something that would handle custom markers. In that case, you just create a marker like this, test case ID, whatever marker you want, and you go ahead and you register that. So inside of your pytest.ini, in the markers, you're going to register that, which takes in a parameter. But to make it so that you can run the test based on this parameter, you're going to add logic into your conftest.py. You basically have to create a PyTest hook. And in the next video, I'll talk about that. I'm not going to talk about the whole code because it's quite long code, but I'll just explain it so you can go ahead and implement it. And the code is also available in the example repository in GitHub. Just for the sake of registering though, for example, smoke, right? If I run the test called smoke, I'm still going to get that warning, but smoke, I'm not going to have too many smoke. Smoke is one word, so I could register that, right? That would be the simplest thing. So I'm going to kill this test. Well, it actually did. It ran 4 of them and no warnings. The reason for that is because smoke is actually registered. So all you have to do is just add it to this list and it will not complain. So an ID, you don't want to register because you're going to have hundreds of IDs. But if you have like a specific marker you want to add, but you're not going to repeat that, you're not going to have a lot of those, you can just register that particular ID, right? So that is just a useful tip about PyTest markers.